This is Hamish and Andy.
You know how people will sometimes go, oh, I saw the worst film on the weekend, or, you know, I just saw the worst film the other day. I actually think I saw the worst film. I actually think it's the worst film I've ever seen. Like, I've seen films that I didn't enjoy, or I didn't like the plot line. This, I think, is just the worst film I've ever seen. Taking out the worst professional film, then I'll put in, because obviously home video and stuff.
Sure, I mean, not to take anything away from you trying to read the kids' book with your horrific lisp.
Yes.
Age 3, that's probably the worst film I've ever seen.
Yes.
It bored me. It didn't capture me. The lead actor clearly had a speech impediment.
Last night, Megs and I on Foxtel were drawn to a film called Titanic 2.
You wouldn't have thought.
And I was like,
she's back.
James Cameron. Really? No wonder he spent so much time before he brought out Avatar.
It bounced off the bottom of the Atlantic and rose again.
Couldn't believe it.
So what was it about?
It was 100 years on. They built a replica of the Titanic, and they were going to go on its maiden voyage through the same waters.
So this would be in the future still, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it was meant to be 2000 and... was it 2010? Was it 1910 when Titanic went down?
Yeah, I think it was about 13 or something like that.
This film was...
So it's present day.
This film was made in 2010.
Oh, just brand new.
Just brand new.
Straight to video, we missed it.
Yeah.
In all the hype of Avatar, we forgot about Titanic too.
The tagline is lightning can strike twice.
No. Don't tell me it hits an iceberg.
Yes. The greatest thing about this film...
Don't tell me can I guess, is it the captain's grandson that from the original Titanic that captains it, and he's in the bridge going, hey, not again.
That would have been better. At one point, before the really poignant moment in the film, the captain turns to this guy and goes, well, it appears like history's about to repeat itself.
What was the one rule we all agreed on when we built the new Titanic? Avoid icebergs, or at least can we do our maiden cruise through the Bahamas just to get the monkey off our back?
Well, I had to IMDb this guy.
Yeah.
The lead actor was a guy called Shane Van Dyke, right? He also wrote it and directed it.
Cool. It's a star vehicle.
Hey, the plot wasn't it was what made it the worst film of all time.
Why don't they just say icebergs can strike twice? Don't want to give it away. In case you haven't seen Titanic 1.
There clearly wasn't a big enough budget to make this film.
Well, there wasn't even for Titanic 1. Didn't James Cameron go $100 million over budget?
I would have said to the guy, mate, the script, what you've got on script is not going to match the budget we've got. Yeah. For instance...
This is why we said no to Deep Impact 2.
They had a big boat there that everyone was getting on, but clearly had superimposed Titanic 2 on the side of it.
So was it anything like the size of the Titanic, or was it more like they'd scrubbed out P&O Fairstar and written Titanic 2?
It was big enough. They'd probably done that. They obviously couldn't afford to get any shots where the boat was moving or taking or get, the horns. So they had a lot of close-up shots of the horns going off. And then they clearly had moved the camera left to right instead of the boat moving off. So people were waving and the camera just tracked out of shot.
It's really weird that the smoke's going directly up.
Any wide external shot was a still picture.
Just a picture? So no moving ocean?
No moving ocean, but they'd animated it. Well, they'd hoped to try and animate the boat going through a still picture. It was amazing. I couldn't...
You didn't see...
And it's not a joke.
You couldn't clearly see a plug in the bath or something and a pinky finger pushing a Titanic model along the bath.
Probably more realistic. They had heaps of helicopter scenes in this film, right? Yep. But obviously couldn't afford a real helicopter. So all the helicopter external scenes were just animations.
Yeah.
But they're really dark lighting because it was all at sea at night.
Yeah, convenient.
So it would be a helicopter animated, and then they'd cut to inside, which was back inside a studio.
I did that when I was in grade 6 and had to make a movie wherein Nathan Dixon's Parents Econo van with the computer joystick pretending it was the helicopter controls.
I just want to know what James Cameron would think with regards to Titanic 2, because this film would have been seen. It would have even got up on the fact that people may have thought it was the sequel.
Possibly. I think anyone that saw Titanic 1 definitely felt there was a full stop at the end of that film. Was there any sort of central plotline that resembled the Jack and Rose?
Absolutely. Shane Van Dyke, the lead character, I don't know what his character name was, but he fell in love with a girl that was working on the boat, and everyone...
Yeah, like Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
On a boat.
Everyone seemed to die, but except those two, and then he froze to death at the end for no real reason.
Because they're in an Olympic-sized swimming pool because they'd run out of money.
Hamish and Andy.